He didn't look good the other night. He didn't look good in game one, and they still came back and won that game. It's so exciting. People that don't like playoff hockey are complete fucking morons. That's what it is. They just don't even watch. They're just not watching. What are they
No.
doing? Thanks.
Yeah, they may just like something else. I mean, that could be it. Guys, we're talking. We're just live now. I don't fucking understand what's happening. This tech issue is really annoying, and it's been Facebook kind of screwing with us. We're talking about this year's Stanley Cup playoff and how this year's playoffs have been fantastic, and that hockey is basically the best playoff there is out there, out of the four majors and probably beyond. So yeah, every game that I've watched has been fantastic, even the blowouts, because there haven't been like real bad blowouts. There have just been a lot of really good fucking games where everybody the thing about hockey playoffs is the desperation is present all game, every game, versus like an NBA playoff game where it takes a fucking long time for them to even show a little heart. Yeah, that's my take.
Steve?
I mean, it's just a broken record. I think that the Stanley Cup Finals are the most exciting. The reason I say that is because you have more chances of, well, call me old, a 7 upsetting a 2 and an 8 upsetting a 1, rather than in like the NBA. Although, yeah, the Sixers did it this year, but it doesn't happen as often. It happens a lot more often in hockey, I feel. And again, it is a marathon. I mean, it's 2 full months. I think they stopped around April 13th or something like that. And, now we're at June 10th. So it is a long grind. And that's why you see those awesome full playoff beards like Rob. If I could only imagine what it would be if the Flyers were still in it. I mean, like, he'd give Santa a run for his money. But I just have to go with. I don't have anything more to add. It's just I think hockey is the best of the playoffs. That being said, I'll still watch every football playoff game because, well, it's cold. It's January. I'm inside. I'm going to watch a football game. But other than that, like, Phil's in the playoffs, yes, but I'm not pitch to pitch like in the postseason for the most part.
Yeah, I don't disagree with everybody. And mentioning the beards is kind of funny. The best part is like the young guys who can't really grow a fucking beard. They're like in their 20s and early 20s, and they got this patchy shit on their face. It is kind of funny. But if you're not a fan of hockey, you're probably not watching this. So, whatever, that's great. But if you've never watched hockey, and for whatever reason you decided to watch this, I would just say, just watch a game. Watch one of these games in the final, and I guarantee you'll be hooked. It's one of the for me, and I'm a hockey guy, but it's one of the only sports that I can watch if it's not a home team playing. So I'm with Steve. I'm with football too. But football's only it's a weekend in the winter. What else you doing? And I'm heavily into fantasy football, so I'm usually watching it for particular players and cursing out my wife's team because she's beating me. I'm not a basketball fan, so I could care less to begin with. And baseball, I'm really only. I didn't even watch the World Series last year. I didn't care. I just sorry. So, but all right, let's get into the Flyers off season, and so Flyers are in pretty good shape overall. They have a good young core group of players. They have draft picks and they have money. According to Puck PD, they have like about $37 million to spend.
Jesus.
Yep.
Okay. Now, two caveats to that. One, there's a lot of other teams that have the similar money to spend that are in the same shape as us. And unfortunately, most of the good free agents were signed up during the season last year. So there isn't a whole lot of viable free agent free agents available, in my opinion. Maybe at defense. So, I mean, maybe we can get to that later. But let's take a quick look at what the Flyers have to work with their own roster right now. They have a handful of RFAs, restricted free agents. So I'll mention them. Some of them are pretty obvious. They're going to sign them. It's just a matter of when and how much, and they might already have deals on place. But if you disagree, just jump in. So Trevor Zegras, he's going to be signed. Coming off a 26-goal season, he is the organization's top priority, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I think it just comes down with him: is he a center or not a center, and do the Flyers want to acquiesce, or does his camp want to give in? Next is Jamie Drysdale. He's expected to command probably a bridge deal similar to Cam York did last year. Again, that's probably a no-brainer. They're going to sign him. They're not going to let him go. All right, now we get into the fun stuff, and this Jake's gonna start tensing his ass up here. Samuel Urson. So I don't know what their plan is with goaltending. We can go to that free agents and guys that trade for out there a little bit later, but I wouldn't be surprised if they give him a qualifying offer. I know probably all of us don't want him to be the backup next year. But
Right. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I get hyper around when I hear that name.
I understand.
He's such a dirtbag. That's part of the reason
I hear he's a nice guy, actually. But
well,
I
don't care. He's still a dirtbag to me.
All right.
That's part of the Vladar signing. Like, we don't have a backup. This is the NHL. You need a backup. You and a top tier one. Like, Carter Hart was a backup when he went to Vegas. Now look what he's doing. We just don't. And Vladar, I'm so tired of hearing he did decent after the Olympics. Well, they would have been in better shape if he didn't suck from the from the first quarter of the season to the Olympics. He was terrible. He was god awful. And we can't have that again. Like, it's every time we hold on to players that we love too long sometimes. I never loved him, but I mean, he was decent last year. Okay, great. But no, we need a better backup. Qualifying offer, I get it, but still, no.
He had his moments throughout the season. He there were times when we were really rough on him because it seemed like he strung together. I think when he was bad, he was really bad. So, like, the games where he was bad, it left that bad taste in your mouth, and he would give up a bunch of goals or just multiple bad goals, and bad goals linger in our memories more than, like, a breakaway or whatever the fuck, like the goals that they should be scoring, where Vladar fucking flashes leather and makes the incredible glove save. Urson doesn't get to that. That's a goal that 9 times out of 10, the offense is going to score on that. But when Urson is bad in those games, he gives up really bad goals, and that's what fucking sticks in our craw. But when he was good, man, it was like, holy shit, we got a backup. So I think a qualifying offer isn't terrible. It's not a terrible idea because you're essentially going to force another team, I think, to come in and take him away. And that means that we're not necessarily going to be the ones who pay him the big money.
What if nobody does that?
Well,
yeah, what other team wants him?
I don't think
no team is clamoring for him. Nobody.
You don't know that, though, because they're like, listen, backup
teams need goalies and team need cheap backups.
Well, and that's exactly and backup goalies,
Yeah.
like, people don't like you said, Jake, like, people don't fall in love with backup goalies like we do once in a while, but we fall in love with backup everything in Philly.
Sure.
Anytime a substitute comes in and has a good, like, at bat or fucking kick or slap shot or stick save, we act like he's the second coming. But most of the league, the teams, they're not like that. They don't fall in love with backup goalies. They replace them repeatedly,
yearly for most part. I don't think Sam Harrison will be back. I do think the qualifying offer could occur, but if his camp is smart, they would look around and try and find a situation where it was coming into this past season where you had where he had a shot at the starting job. If he were to resign here, obviously we all know he would be the backup. Um, when you're signing Kozlov to a deal where it was basically $1 million, I mean that's a lot for the Phantoms. I don't like it. I don't think that Kozlov should be the backup either. Um, yeah, I mean there is a chance Harrison could be back, but I think Dan Vladar would do better with having an old head as his backup. Backup where that guy's only going to do 20 to 25 starts a year and actually give Dan the reins, if you will, to be that starting goaltender. Someone, in the twilight of their career, but not
Cam
like
Talbot's a free agent.
I was
yeah,
just going to say,
I mean,
I
like
have some
be like
names.
something like that. And I think that a veteran, I feel like a veteran goalie to come in and push Kozlov. I forget his name already. I just said it.
It's
Kozlov. I think
Kolosov.
that is. I think that is an important thing this offseason, so that he knows, like, hey, I'm not gonna. This isn't going to be gifted to me just because you didn't re-sign Erison and you gave me a contract. Like you're young and you sucked it up against the Rangers, who is the god worst team this year. So you got no leg to stand on. So he needs to have a little bit of fire lit under his ass. So, and for the record, that could be Erison. I don't think it will be. I know that he likes it here and everything, but and I understand, like, after the Olympic break, he won 6 of his last 7 starts, got his ass kicked against Detroit when he really needed those 2 points. Obviously, in the long run, did it matter? But still, it was a needed game. But out of his 4-year NHL career, this was his worst year with his save percentage. Like, that's not good going into free agency. Like, even if somebody does go after him, he's not going to get the money that he is going to want. He's probably going to be like $1.2 million goaltender. Like he's not going to get any more money than that because that's backup money. It's got to be one of those things where if like his camp should be looking for people with like shitty goaltending situations so that he can get into that shitty goaltending situation and then have a shot. That's just my take on it.
I was going to save this because we're probably going to talk about Vladar and the second worst kept secret in the all season after AJ Brown and his contract. So there are 2 teams out there that actually have a glut of goalies, good goalies, young goalies in their systems, and they got to do something because they're not doing well and they don't necessarily have the money or the time for these guys. So the Toronto Maple Leafs have 3 goaltenders. So Stolarz is the veteran guy. Nobody's going to want that contract. Nobody wants him. But they have 2 guys, Joseph Woll and Dennis Hildeby. They can't. They're all 3 of them will require going through waivers. So they got to do something with one of them. Or they're going to carry three of them on their roster all next year, which I it's not going to happen.
Too much of a cap hit.
What's that?
I'd say too much of a cap hit.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising if the Leafs trade one of the 3 this summer. Both Woll and Hildeby are similar save percentage, but Woll has a 3.6 million AAV, and he signed through the end of 2028. Hildeby isn't getting paid anywhere near that. He's under $1 million, and he's also signed through 2028. So I could see Woll being somebody that's available, and it might not take a whole lot to get him pick-wise. So I could see, but again, there are other teams that need goaltending, so Flyers wouldn't be the only person if interested. The other team is Detroit has a glut of goalies. They have their veteran John Gibson, and they have two NHL ready rookies, Sebastian Costa and Trey Augustine. The rumors are Edmonton and Utah are interested, but why not the Flyers? And Costa would be the odd man out, in my opinion. The dude is 6'6". He plays a similar game of Vladar. So who better to learn from? And I mean, he's really got good minor league numbers. He only has I think he only has a couple NHL games, but his AHL numbers are great. His before that, I mean, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Flyers make a deal to get somebody like this. I really don't want Arson either. I think he's your fallback, but I don't really want Cam Talbot either. Talbot was was on Detroit last year. He was the backup, so that's why none of these kids were playing last year. So,
I have a question for you guys because I don't know the answer and I'm trying to figure it out right now. Kolosov, not the guy. Like, I think he's still young, but he might be one of those guys who ends up going somewhere else and catching on, which I honestly don't have a problem with. The Flyers do have some young goalies in their system. What do you guys know about Bjarnason?
He didn't have a great year last year with in the AHL. He's still young. He still needs a couple years.
Yeah, I mean, he's 20.
Yeah.
But he's 6'4". You're talking about tall. He's 6'4", 207. He's 20 years. Like, that's a guy who could fucking come. Like, I would like to see one of these guys that they draft come up and at least perform as an adequate backup. You know what I mean? At least, because Vladar, obviously, he's entrenched. He's not going anywhere unless he has 2 great years and then they trade him because somebody else is ready. But for the time being, he's not going anywhere.
Rob, I agree with Steve. Like, I want a veteran guy as backup. That the 1A, 1B thing did not work. Just give Vladar a break and keep the other guy, if he's still young, he's 20 years old, keep him at the Phantoms. There's no harm in that. I just want an older guy with Vladar's not looking over his shoulder. Not all the pressure's on him, but he can still get a break.
Yeah, there's a couple names. Bob is a potential free. Like, what do you guys think about Bob? I mean, he's old as shit, and he's probably going to want to get paid.
He's going to want a bigger contract. I still think he's going to wind up signing back with Florida. They're not letting him go. I don't even know if they have anybody else behind him.
Say, you'll get a kick out of this when you were talking about. Because he didn't have a great year.
No, he didn't. That's why they didn't make the playoffs.
Sig, when you were talking about Joseph Wall, I went to go look at his contract and stuff like that. I typed in to Google Toronto Maple Leafs didn't come up. Second thing was Toronto goalie situation. So this is clearly a talked about thing. If it's the second thing on a Google search, and I was just trying to look up about Wall, and so you're right. They got to be moving one of these guys at least.
I think they've had those 3 all season, though, Sig. I feel like this has been going on for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know.
And there's a guy named Connor Ingram in
I don't know any of these guys, and I don't know who it was. Nico Dawes, I don't know who that is. Sorry, I didn't research every friggin' goalie. I just looked at a couple teams that I knew they had a glut of NHL ready goalies.
Yeah.
So I don't know who some of these guys are, but all right, let's get back to where we were.
I think the bottom line is that they need to put somebody behind Vladar who's reliable, who doesn't cost a lot of money. It's a pretty simple formula.
Yeah. All right, the last 2 RFAs on the Flyers are Emil Andre, defenseman. He was solid. I thought he was solid, AHL and NHL. He was number 6, number 7 defenseman. And Nikita Grabenkin, he was benched a little off and on. These guys are depth guys. I can see them getting re-signed. Andre is not going to be your number 6 or 7 defenseman next year on this team. They have 8 guys right now, and he's not. He's one of them, but he's easily the odd man out. So
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It has a lot to do with if they decide to move Ristolainen in the off season here, as well as the fact how they feel about Oliver Bonk.
Yeah.
If you end up keeping Ristolainen and Bonk makes the team out of training camp, I mean, like that's Andre's spot essentially.
I don't think Bonk makes the team right now.
Really?
You have 6 guys, and the number 6 guy is David Yersak. The Flyers are going to have, unless they move somebody,
really high on
and
him.
even if they sign someone, well, we haven't gotten into free agents yet, but
Yeah.
Carlson or Radish or whatever these guys that are out there, which there's a lot of talk about that out there. I don't know how much it's true, but even if they sign one of those guys, they got to make a move. Yersak is he has no waivers. You can't put him through I mean, you have to put him through waivers. You can't just send him down. So he's going to make the team next year. They traded a guy that they liked. And they're not just going to let this guy walk or get claimed by somebody else.
No,
Yersak is going to be on the team.
Yeah.
So if anything, Bonk goes down easily, and the only other thing they can do is they can move Ristolainen for somebody.
Do you think he will be moved, or do you think he will play out the last year on the deal? And
Sealer might be the other guy. I think they could move him for something lesser, but
but Sealer's cheap though. He's
I know.
Not even.
Yes,
he's
he
not
is.
even $3 million,
and that's why it'll be easy to move him. You're replacing him with Yersak, who's cheaper. But then if you're bringing in a high price free agent defenseman, you got $37 million to throw around.
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot about Yersak already. Thank you.
Well, because he didn't. What did he play? One game.
He played one game at the end, just to get the thing.
Yeah, I actually think Bonk makes the team. I think they want him up. He's 21. You know what I mean? So I think he's ready to play in the NHL. I think they want a lot of their young guys to get more experience. Well, I wouldn't be shocked if this team gets younger next year. If
they make a trade, and again, we look at the free agents and stuff later. Bonk, Barkley, Bump, they are guys that are going to be traded. I just want to dispel the rumor that we did not fire Dave. Dave is busy. He's got Dave is with Al. Dave's got with the Eagle Al. They're actually I don't know, down in a drinking twisted tea somewhere, and they're on a beach somewhere. That's all we know. That's all the information that we got. So if you guys have seen Witness Dave and Al, let them know that they are missed by the fans. Except for Drunk Phil's fans, apparently, who's glad that we fired Dave, and they were glad that DEF fired Al. So,
but those guys are assholes.
Drunk Phil's fans, they're being really surly lately. Although I don't know if you guys, they're like our ugly stepsister too, man. Like if you guys had checked out the page today, man, it was extremely positive. Like if I were in charge of Facebook's algorithm, I would have really pumped them up today because it was super positive. Really good messages. Like I could feel my chakras aligning. It was really, really something else. So great job. Chakras aligning. Is that like that new defenseman from Sweden? Yeah, I believe he's I hope they use protection. Alan, Dave, I hope you're watching. All right, back on track. Sorry. All right. So I think Bonk makes the team. I think this team might get younger. I think Risto, because Risto played really well in the playoffs. He did.
He sure did.
And so his value, because he's got a contract. He's got a big number. Another year. Yeah. So I think he may be the guy who goes, although expecting to make the fucking playoffs again next year, which I'm sure that Danny and Jonesy do. that's a guy you want. So
Yep.
yeah,
They got a conundrum and a logjam at wing and a logjam at defense all of a sudden.
correct. Now,
Not a bad thing, but
now talking about potential players, guys, and I don't know, did I mention this? We haven't had a podcast in a little while. Did we ever talk about Larkin on this podcast?
No, that came out of nowhere.
All right, Dylan Larkin's a fucking jerk off. That's all I'm trying to say. And here's why. Because a day or two before that, we were seeing, news articles and shit like that saying, oh, the Flyers could be one of the teams in the hunt for Dylan Larkin. And I think Dylan Larkin, I'm going to stop saying his name. I think that cocksucker, him or someone on his team, someone on his management team, saw all these rumors coming out, and they were probably across the NHL. Every team who's not still playing was probably putting out rumors in their local press about being interested in Dylan Larkin and how he can help their team. So they put out a fucking, he put out a statement, naming 3 teams. What was it? Carolina, Florida, and
Minnesota Wild,
who had 104 points this year. Are you fucking kidding me? Is this guy Sidney Crosby?
So
I know he's good, but is he that good that he can say, I only want to go to the 3 best teams in the NHL?
He doesn't have the leverage that he thinks he has.
Correct.
Because Steve Yzerman is a bigger dickhead than him. He doesn't care.
Facts.
He doesn't fucking care. If the Flyers come up and want to give Yzerman a whopper of a deal, and it would be a whopper, then is he going to say no?
No, he's absolutely going to send him wherever he wants. But does Larkin have the no trade?
He does. He does have a no trade because he has some. If he wants to go with a winner, and like I said, and Yzerman says this is the offer we want. Yeah, take it, and you're going to Philly, or don't take it, and you're playing here.
Well, that was the reason he named those teams, Rob, was that's who he would waive his no trade for.
I know. That's what I meant.
But how do we have a pod without bringing up Austin Matthews' name?
Okay.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
All right.
let's bring up Austin Matthews' name.
Let's bring up Austin Matthews.
Paul wants to know, hey guys, will Danny Briere get with Toronto to find out what it would take to get Austin Matthews in a Flyers jersey? What say you, Drunk Flyers fans?
I feel like you'd have to give up.
No, I love it. He's one of my favorite players in the NHL, but he's not. I don't see how we financially get him here. I just don't understand. He's going to want too much money. I'm not willing to give up all that.
Well, he's under contract, so it would have to be a trade. I don't know off the top of my head what his contract is, but I'm sure it's a pretty good contract. And again, Flyers had the money, so I don't care about that. I am worried about the knee. I don't know if I want to give up the players it's going to take. I'm with you. Austin Matthews was one of my favorite non-Flyers in the league. I wanted him in the worst way last year, and he blew out his knee. So I don't know. He's another Connor McDavid right now. He wants to see what Toronto is going to do to improve their team. So I don't know if he want to come here yet. I mean, I don't know.
He's got 1 year left. 1 year left. $13 million cap hit.
Yeah, and he's got 2 years left.
Yeah, I see 2 here through 27, 28.
He's coming up on year 3 or 4.
Because 1 year, I definitely don't want to trade everything that without some kind of pre-negotiation.
So it's annual value of $13.25 million. So you would have half of that contract. It was a $53 million deal. So essentially, you would be paying about $26.5 million, somewhere around there. I I mean,
you would have to take somebody with a big
if
number
you're
in return. You know, that would have to
going
be
to
like
do
a
that, you're going to
Risto.
have to put some young guys. You're probably also going to have to give up someone like
Steve, you're going in and out again.
like
You're
yeah, you'd have to take probably someone like Owen Tippett, or if you're going to do a big money thing, you got to do Konechny, but Konechny is just big money. It's not like it would be somebody else talk.
Yeah,
All right.
I like Austin Matthews. I'll talk
There you
about him
go.
for a second. Austin Matthews is he's a fine player. He's got 428 goals. He had 33 2 years ago. He had 27 this year, and those are his two lowest goal totals in his career. But he's only 28 at the moment. We're 29 at the moment. Yeah, he's still 28. He doesn't turn 29 until September. So, I mean, that is, you can still get some good years out of him. I do agree that over the last couple of years, he's battled some bugaboo, some injury. And so I don't know if I want to invest in that. But let's just say we could get a guy like that on this team who can fucking score 30 with his eyes closed, that makes everybody else better. So it's a lot of money, but I don't see how you pass up on a fucking superstar like that.
All right. So if we're looking at trade, and that's what it would be like Austin Matthews. There are other guys available, and I'm only looking at guys that are like under 30. I don't see the point in trading for somebody over 30 right now, unless you really think you're on the cusp of Stanley Cup, which they're fooling themselves if they think. But there are centers out there, and we talked about Dylan Larkin, whether he's a dick or not. He's 29. He's a 30-goal lockdown center. He plays 200. What happened there?
I don't know. You got real loud.
Yeah, I know. He plays the full. He plays the full ice. I mean,
I can hear you, Steve.
He's excellent. We got Mason McTavish. He's 23. He's with the Ducks. Elliot Peterson. I don't think Tocchet likes him because he coached him. Shane Wright, 22. He is with the Kraken. Nico Heischier with he's only 27 with the Devils, and the lead singer of the Goo Goo Dolls, Robert Thomas, 26, who's another top center. And the Flyers evidently were looking at him during the season before the trade deadline. I know they were asking too much, and so I don't think the ask is going to come down on these guys. So
I know it's that time of the year where everybody's like the Flyers are interested in everybody, and everybody's interested in this person. This person's going to get traded. Blah blah blah. I don't know Tippett's contract details, but I do see his name a lot, and I just have a feeling like he's gone, and that's okay. Like again, like that's fine. I just want something decent in return because, in my opinion, he's actually he's shown flashes, but hasn't lived up to original expectations.
Well, I mean, here's again, the Flyers have a glut of wingers and they have a glut of defensemen. And if you want something good, you're going to have to give up something. So I saw, I don't know what website it was, I don't remember, but they put together like this is probably what we'd have to give up to get Larkin kind of deal. And because it's Detroit and they asked for Ristolainen before, he was at the top. Tippett was second. And then Cates, because they would want to center back. But if not Cates, it would be any combination of Barkley, Bump, and probably our number one this year. And probably one of the guys that we got in the minors are all over the world at center, Nesbitt, Lachenko, or Berglund. So you're talking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys and a number one pick. for Dylan Larkin. That's
No.
for any of these players. That's your. I mean,
Larkin
Mason
plays for
McTavish is
2031.
23. You might not give up that much, but you're still going to give up a lot to the Ducks. I mean, I don't know if people are prepared to give up what it's going to take.
Well,
Owen Tippett is
Everybody,
6 years.
everybody were jumping off bridges when we fucking traded Bobby Brink.
Very true.
got me off that bridge. You got me off that bridge.
I was okay with that trade. I thought Bobby Brink was a nice player who, he kind of felt like, and this is what Barkey feels like to me. They feel like TK clones, where they're these little scrappy guys who have some skill. TK's game has changed a little bit throughout his career. I think he's gotten a little dirtier and a little less skillful. And I think that's evidenced by the fact that he missed the net on every fucking breakaway or shot that he took in the goddamn playoffs. But anyway, like a guy like Barkey, I think is expendable. I think he's a small guy. And if you package him for a star / superstar, and he's part of that, even if it's a 5-player first and a first rounder, have at it. Alex, I don't know a ton about Alex Bump. I know what we saw, and that was it. I didn't even know who he was until he was ready to come up. Like, that's how under the radar Alex Bump was. So if he's,
I don't want to lose the meme on him, though.
Yeah, well, you lost Brink too,
and Brink's another one who reminds me of TK.
Yeah, and then with Owen, what Sig was saying. So Owen Tippett does have a large contract. He's got 6 years left, 6.2 a year. So that's about like $37.2 million left on that deal. So again, if you're doing one of these trades for somebody like Matthews or wherever, where they're going to be like 13.5 or something like that, like you got to do that just for cap sake. I understand we got like 38 million, but you gotta shed some money if you're going to be taking on, that amount of money.
Well, a team like Detroit, especially, I mean, they're a team that's they're in the same shoes as the Flyers were. They haven't made the playoffs in so long. They thought they were going to make it last year. They just
a couple bounces and they were in instead of us last year.
Yeah, they think they're there. So if they're giving up a 30-goal scorer, they're going to fucking want someone back. And Tippett might be the guy that satiates them on the goal side anyway. It's not a center, but it's going to take a lot to get somebody like Dylan Larkin.
I don't know if Detroit works with us, in all honesty. I don't know if they would want to work with us, being that we were like both of the clubs, like you said, are so close. Like, that's like, I understand you're not in the same division, but you're in the same conference. Like, Eisenman, they might not want to work with us. They might not want to give up their 30-goal score to us, who barely beat them to get in. That would clearly make us better.
Does anybody know how many goals Tippett had? I'm assuming it was close to 20, right?
27.
27.
Oh, okay.
It was 27. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I thought I read that.
28, 23 assists, 51 points.
I looked at everything earlier today, but I
have it right here.
And mine is like a sieve. So, all right. Is there any other free agents anybody wants to jump on? Do we want to look at, or not free agents, trades? Do we want to look at free agents, or the one thing that I really am interested in, like the offer sheets for other teams' restricted free agents?
Yeah.
So let's just look at other unrestricted free agents that are out there real quick. And there's a good amount of older power play quarterback, right-handed defenseman available. We got Radish from Tampa Bay, Anderson from Las Vegas, and a guy that seems to have a lot of chatter regarding the Flyers, John Carlson from Anaheim. Supposedly, the story is he wants to get back. He used to be with the Caps all those forever, and the Caps trade him at the deadline to the Ducks. He wants to come back to Bohm just homered. He wants to come back to the East Coast. So, and like I said, I mean, I don't have a problem. I liked Radish. I don't have a problem with any of these guys, but all of a sudden the Flyers have a glut of right side defensemen. So, I mean, they're going to have to do something. I don't know. But the forwards that are out there, I don't know. A lot of them are older. I don't think we need them. They're wingers. We definitely don't need wingers. I didn't see any centers that I was thrilled with. Does anybody have any free agents that they like?
Yeah,
I like Go ahead, Rob.
No, you go, Steve. I'm still pulling something up.
Okay. I liked the dude from the Stars, Jason Robertson, but you would have to do the 4 first-round picks.
Right.
For
yeah,
that.
He's a restricted free agent, so I'm talking just free agents.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I like where you're going with that. But
it made me think though, because I'm like, I don't know, getting somebody who has like 90 some points and stuff. They're not gonna. I understand they're not gonna do it. 4 first-round picks is a lot. But again, apparently, like out of the 32 teams, apparently something like the Flyers farm system is like 8th best. So like they are.
According to The Athletic, I saw that article.
Yeah, they're apparently hitting in the minors, at least, with these prospects, with all these picks that they have done. And over the last, I would probably say since 2022 on. And, that's great. Some of them 3rd-round picks and such, but it's just something that I would like, but that's a pipe dream. There's no way in hell a rebuilding team. And again, like you said, there is a chance you could be younger next year. So with some trades and stuff, and there's a chance you might not make the playoffs next year because of that. Because I mean, you technically made the playoffs this year a little bit earlier than what the 5-year rebuild, if you will, was supposed to be. So you never know if they're going to steer from that plan. And again, that's what we were talking about earlier with like people like Ristolainen and stuff like that. Like, do you want to win next year, or do you want to, with the pick? So like, I have a feeling they're still going to go on the pick route, but no, that was my, that would be the toy that I would enjoy is Jason Robertson, but I don't see that happening.
So Paul asking the question, and we never really, we talked about,
sorry.
Yeah. Matthews over Larkin. Larkin is a more complete player, but he's also going to cost more. I like Austin Matthews. And again, if it wasn't for his knee, I wouldn't even be thinking twice about wanting them to go after him. But personally, I'd rather have Larkin. He's a year younger, but again, he's a more complete player. Austin Matthews is on the Flyers. He would be asked to play defense, and you would have another Konechny on your hands. This past year, he didn't have a good year because he was asked to play defense.
So over 10 years, Austin Matthews has a plus minus of 147.
Yeah.
And last year it was -4, and that was the first time since 2018, 2019 that it was negative. And it's, again, he didn't score a ton of goals or as many as he normally did. And then Larkin, I believe his career plus minus is 18. Wait a minute. No, I think he's at -100. Is that what this says?
Wait, what?
Dylan Larkin's plus minus in his career is -100.
What? I didn't even know that was possible.
He had a season of -28. He had a season of -21. He had a season of -18. And these, 31 goals, and he still had a -18. 30 goals, it was -16. So
what goaltenders on that team? What did the defensemen look like on that team? What was their plus minus? He's asked to play more. He's out there for every situation in the defensive zone. that
Average time of ice 19 minutes.
yeah. He's playing 20 minutes
You know,
a game.
where Matthews is at 20.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Matthews
that's
might
one
be
of-
cheaper because of the knee. I don't know. Maybe you go that way then. I don't care.
plus his contract is
I'll
plus
take
his
both.
contract is shorter. Larkin has a longer deal, so if you go for Larkin, you're probably going to have to give up more.
I hate to go all DPF here, guys, but from what I've seen so far from the front office, I'm pretty positive about what's going on. So we're having all these discussions about what players. It's Philly sports, and I finally have faith in management with this specific team. I'm just going to say that for right now, for today.
I mean, like, you're not wrong. I mean, this past offseason, you look at, the Zegras trade with Anaheim was one of the, like, you're not as good as you are now if you didn't do that trade. Signing Vladar, those two guys alone, where would this team be without that? I mean, like, those are two home runs right there. And I had my reserves, if you will, with like Briere and such, but that team, just how they played down the stretch, and knowing that a lot of the guys probably will be coming back. It's going to be Takic's second year. You did this in his first year. Everyone's going to be a year older, and in the Flyer situation, that's a good thing. It's not like the Phillies where everyone's a year older; they just hit less. But like, I'm encouraged as well. I really do believe in the management now. Yeah, they definitely made a believer out of me. So I think they are on a good path. And like I said earlier, with them having, being in the top quarter of young talent, like, that doesn't hurt things. Like, this might actually be working correctly for once.
So I think we're almost at the point where you can just start calling Danny Briere Howie Jr. I want to start seeing the memes. Yes, the best NFL front office, the best NFL front office. I want to see the little laser eyes with Danny Briere coming up.
He has to freeze somebody. He has to make a trade where he's giving up.
He does have
the
to
bag of pucks.
That's fine.
I will not.
It's coming.
I gave him a compliment. I'm not going there.
Can any of you guys identify this signature?
Yeah,
where's the number?
It's Stu Miller.
I believe it's 33.
I don't know.
I got
Dominic
this in
Purcell.
33.
I got this in a
Dominic Purcell. There you go. There's a blast from the pass.
It's an excellent guess. I believe it's.
He was like the next best. He was another one in the long line of the next best Flyers goalies. Him, Nitty Nakamaki or Nakamiki. Terry Nitty and all these fucking clowns that they had. All right, so when I
was living in Florida, real quick, and I worked at a bar called St. George Tavern, shout out Tavern. And there was a kid who used to come in there. His name was Dan Keogh, and we used to talk Flyers hockey all the time. And every time the Flyers had another one of these goalies, he would come in and we would be all pumped up. Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy. This is the first guy since Hextall. And we all know how all those guys worked out. So,
yeah, well, for other teams.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we looked at free agents, we looked at trades. I want to talk to me. This is one of the most exciting options that the Flyers have, that I think the Flyers have this year, and not just the Flyers. A lot of teams have it, but it's never really been a big area or a big way for teams to get players. I think there's like just an unwritten rule with an offer sheet. The Flyers have done it in the past. Some teams have done it. Most of them, they don't go through. But, you can remember Chris Groton. I think the Flyers got him with an offer sheet. He sucked ass. He was all right for the most part. But so the idea is, and this is a restricted free agent, if you sign a restricted free agent fee and offer sheet, and based on money, you can lose up to as high as $4 your 4 consecutive first round picks. The other team has the option to match your offer or take the picks. And obviously you could talk under the radar, to work out a trade before if the picks are not feasible. So, I mean, the range is, like I said, and you're talking 4 first-round picks if it's like a $12 million contract that you're offering. So these are the top guys. And it's staggering. It stops from like 1.6 million. You don't get a pick. You want that fucking slob? You want Urson? Take him. There you go. I'm not getting a pick. I don't care. So, but I think, in my opinion, there are at least 2 guys out there that I really like. I know people are going to look at like that Fantilli, the center from Minnesota. He's another great guy. I would take him in a second, but the money and the picks, I don't know. It kind of upsets my stomach a little bit, and I don't like Tom. So, I have 2 guys that I really like. One is a high end, and one is a mid range guy that I like. One of them we've been watching. If we've been watching the playoffs and the Golden Kniggets, you got and I'm going to blow his fucking last name like terribly. Pavel Dorofeyev. He's so Vegas has like 6 or 7 guys that they need to sign, and they have like $1. And the cap, I mean, the minimal. Where is that? I have that somewhere too. The minimum's going up, and they don't have enough to sign everybody. Dallas is the other team. They don't have enough to sign everybody. This guy's probably going to be about 9.5 million to sign him. Now, he hasn't done anything in the 4 games against Carolina, oddly enough, but he had like 10 goals and 14 points through the first 3 rounds, and I kind of like him a little bit because, he might be there to help Mitchkov a little bit, I don't know, but if he goes for 9.5, you're talking about a first, second, and third rounder. The guy though I really like, and Steve brought up Robertson with Dallas earlier, but it's not Robertson. Dallas is in worse shape than Vegas as far as money goes. Robertson is going to command a contract, and it's going to be more than what they have. I mean, unless they get creative accounting, and they still have 5 or 6 other open spots on their roster that they need to fill. The one guy I like, he's a center. He's not a big name center, and I'm all for baby steps with the whole center thing. So it's the dude's name is Maverick Bork. He had a really good first year. Actually, he was really good last year too. Last year was his first year. So he's had 2 really good years. And Dallas again, they have like 10 million in cap space. Robertson's going to probably be over 12. I don't know how they're going to get that done. They have like 4 or 5 other guys that are restricted and unrestricted free agents. I think this guy is prime. I think you're going to see for the first time, you're going to see guys making offer sheets. And the Flyers aren't the only team that could probably see this. But I'm kind of excited, looking forward to these offer sheets being thrown around on July 1st. So I don't know about anybody else, but go ahead. Give me your thoughts.
The only thing I would say with that, though, with like a team like Dallas is if you were to do that, they're going to take them 4 picks because they don't got the money.
Well, the thing is with Maverick Bork, you're only going to give up. You're only going to offer him like about 4 or 5 million. Dallas doesn't have that money, so you might get in a bidding war with another team like, say, the Ducks. But I mean, somebody that's 4.7 million, you're only giving up a second round pick.
Oh, well, that's not the worst.
So I mean, 4.7 to 7.1, you're giving up a first and a third round pick. I mean, you're getting a proven like number 2 center, maybe. Yeah, here you go.
Number 2, yeah.
Take my money. I mean, you're not shooting for the stars here. I mean, if you want to go out and go get the Rob Thomas or the Dylan Larkin and Austin
You're
Matthews,
shooting
whatever.
for a Dallas star, though, right? Isn't
You're-
that what you said?
Yeah, right. You're only shooting for a Dallas star, which
Sorry.
like any Dallas team sucks
Sorry,
ass. So,
I'm being a dork.
but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You guys, I don't know. Maybe it's just me that's excited. I don't know about the whole offer sheet thing, but I don't know if you guys have looked at it, thought about it, care about it.
I haven't, but I think it would be neat if teams did it this year after not doing it for so long, or having it be like one of those unwritten things. I don't know. I like chaos.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is.
You know what I'm excited about, Sig, is
Me shirtless.
NHL Fantasy.
Oh.
NHL Fantasy League. So next year offer sheets, I can know who the hell we're talking about better because I really don't know that guy.
And honestly, for everybody that's out there, the 3 people that haven't fallen asleep yet, I trying to get a fantasy league between our admins, and for the sole purpose of just becoming more educated for the rest of the league, honestly. So yeah, it does help. I used to always do fantasy hockey and I loved it for that. So
As long as I don't have to see you rub your nipples again, we're fine.
I'm going to do that all the time in front of you now that you said that you don't want to see it. So if you see my hands under my shirt, you know what's going on. But all right. Anyway, so we don't have anything else to talk about as far as that goes. Where are we at? I lost track because my nipples are hard.
Sorry, I was praying for protection.
Oh, you know what? Here's something. I guess. All right, and I alluded to this early on, and it might not have made it because we fucked up the beginning of our thing here. Vladar. We kind of talked about this a little bit. It sounds like it already happened, according to Joe Pizza in fucking Narberth or whatever the hell it is. So, is it wise to sign Vladar to an extension?
I don't think so.
Sounds like it's 5 years, and it's somewhere between $6 and $6.5 million per year.
I'll go.
That's the rumors. Now, the only thing I have to say is $6 million for a goalie. That's like 5% of your cap space. That's peanuts. Fucking take that. I don't care about the money.
Right.
And 4 or 5 years down the line, it's even less because your cap's going up. And the last 2 years, one of these young guys coming up, Vladar's the backup. And that's probably maybe a little elevated price for a backup, but not by much. So I don't think I don't worry that my immediate concern is not the last 2 years of a contract. It's the next 2 or 3.
Everyone's against me on this one. Paul is with me. God bless Paul as always. Signing him is not a smart move. Did you guys forget my post the other day, how I was so excited about Briskalov and how we're still paying his dumb ass because you gave him a 9-year deal? I know those contracts don't exist anymore, but we are basing this off of 1 year. We're basing this off of 1 year, not even 1 full year, because he got hurt during the year as well. We don't know if this was a fluke or not. I'm a big Vladar fan. I am his biggest supporter. I have been all year. But you did sign a 2-year deal, and he is under contract. So for me, I need to see him do it again. And I'm cool with during the year. If we're like 50 games in and he's playing like the same exact way, I'm 100% fine with giving him money. I'm fine with signing him after the 2nd year and paying more money if he proved everyone wrong. That's awesome. That's more money for you.
What if you don't get him?
What?
What if you don't get him? What if
Rob just said we have like 4 of these damn goalies that we're waiting on. So if you have these 4 goalies that you're waiting on, I don't think you're grooming these guys to be a backup goalie. Like if you have these like 4 young goalies, and now you're going to sign Vladar to 5-year extension, meaning 6 more years. I get that he's 28. I'm fine with that part. I'm fine with giving him a little bit, but 5-year extension on top of next year, that's foolish. That is a lot of money. And what if it was a fluke? What if it was a fluke? Now we're going to have
That's
to
the risk you take
for 6 years.
That's the risk that you got to weigh.
Then why would you take the risk? He's already under contract. If you have $38 million to play with and you're not going to sign a big name person this year, save that money for the following year. And if he's good, then you give him the money. And if he's not, then you go find somebody else.
I don't disagree with you with what you're saying. I just worry that if you wait till like mid-season, his camp is going to come back. No, we'll see how this plays out, and we'll take our chances in free agency. You know, that's the risk. That's the thing that you got to weigh. Do we just lock him up, give him what he fucking wants? Everybody on the team loves him. He's a great locker. All the intangibles are there, and we all like him, but we're worried that it was a fluke. Last year, we were worried he couldn't do it. Now we're worried it's a fluke. So I don't know. It's a typical Philly mentality that we're worried because we're not used to having something nice, kind of thing. I don't disagree with you, Steve. You said that everybody disagrees. I don't disagree with you. I'm worried, but I just think you got to take the risk. And the money is not because of the money that you have and the contract and the caps going up. I think it's a risk you take. I don't like 5 years. I really don't. But whatever. It's going to take another 3 years for one of these other kids to come up, if they come up at all.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not. It's more of a learning curve in hockey, I believe. When it comes, and I compare goalies to quarterbacks. Like quarterbacks can come in and be productive right away. It's going to take some of these young guys more years to be a starting goalie.
It might even be harder in the NHL.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's difficult than a quarterback. They can be productive right away, and a goalie's going to take 2 or 3 years. So do I agree with 5 years? Hell no. But you don't know what his agent was asking for. And if you wait till halfway through the season, then he wants $7.5 million a year. Like, I mean,
sorry, Jake. Schwarbaum, 2-run home run, 6-0.
Nice.
Continue.
No, I mean, I understand what Steve's saying, and logically it makes sense, but this is the chance you take with sports. It is what it is. They don't have anybody close to being ready at this point. So you're going to have to get somebody from another team, and then you're getting somebody else's, I don't want to say problem, but, it is what it is. Like, he played so damn well. He definitely deserves an extension over the 1 year he already has. And I'm assuming they tried for maybe 2 or 3 more, and they just couldn't get there.
Go ahead,
Anyone else?
Supposedly,
Rob?
Not done.
Oh, sorry.
No. I said the deal's not done.
Oh. It's funny. Like I said, I think that was one of the worst kept secrets. The second worst kept secret in Philly sports after AJ Brown. It sounds like this deal was done. Everyone and their brothers reporting it done. Even the pizza boy in fucking wherever, Narberth, is reporting it. And I just signed a fucking $30 million extension. I'm going out for pizza in Narberth and telling the guy, I don't know. That just was kind of silly to me.
By the way, I was in Norristown today. Does all the pizza suck there? I should have asked you guys if there's any good pizza.
I live in Norristown. Steve lives in Norristown. We could have told you exactly where to go. Where did you go?
I wouldn't have trusted you though, Rob. I don't know.
Well, that's probably you're smarter than you look, Jake. Because I definitely would have steered you wrong.
It was like a Rosa restaurant pizza. I don't know.
Nona Rosa.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. They actually have pretty good deals if you go on to if you go on the what is it, DoorDash, they have like these $12 meal deals. I've never had their pizza, but we go to a place called Olympia, which is nearby, and then there's a place across the way that does like a red top. They're called Spanky and Luch's. Pretty good.
All right, good to know. Thanks.
All right,
there's a place right around the corner here. It's Pizza Hut or something like that. I don't know. It's a new place. Small little family-owned joint. Nice. I think they do like $3 pizzas.
All right, so we're up in an hour, and I think we're going to wrap this up. We didn't touch the draft. We're looking at having another podcast in 2 weeks, right before the draft.
Yeah.
So, just start studying up on all these guys that you'll never hear of again.
Damn right.
After the draft, and we'll talk about that then. Anyway, before we wrap this up, don't forget that our DPF brothers, and that's Drunk Phil's fans for all you nitwits, have a couple events coming up. We have our DPF night at Citizens Bank Park on Saturday, June 20th.
Correct.
When the fighting, what's that?
I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. When the fightings take on the Mutts, so come out and wear your DPF and your FTM gear. Also, in July 18th, we had the DPF Dive Bar Tour. If you wanted any more information on these ideas or on these events, check out Drunk Phil's fans on Facebook for details. Does anyone else have anything real quick before I finish this off?
I want to hawk some gear, guys. drunkphilsfans.com/collections/drunk-flyers. The little thing that's underneath here, go get your Drunk Flyers fans gear there. You can also get it at thebutchershop.myshopify.com, where you can get these nice logo stuff, and you can get that cool shirt that Sig is wearing with that.
We don't know who that is anymore. It looks
with that handsome gentleman on there.
I don't know.
Holding the coffee mug.
He's cool.
Long hand.
I don't know who he's supposed to be though.
That was when I was using Just for Men.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to the fan. If anybody had seizures, that's on them.
That's technically the Drunk Flyers fan.
That's funny. And you know what? That we need a shirt for that.
Let me try
anyway,
that again.
All right,
that
we're done.
Was the Drunk Flyers fan.
There you go. All right. So anyway, we would like to thank you for spending time with us tonight. And as Steve would say, TTB to the bar. Good night, everyone.
Fuck the Penguins.
Fuck the Penguins.
Where's our music?
Thank you, Walter King, for the Drunk Flyers fan on our place team.